All right, folks, good morning. All right, sounds like the audio is working this time. All right, let's get started here. We're just going to briefly go through this since we'll make sure I do this where it's a little quiet in here. All right, so for Friday, April 25th, we have the following information. At 10 a.m., make sure this is on the right time zone. Hold on for 1 second. Yep, it's on Eastern time. Good. So at 10 a.m. Eastern, we have the revised U of M consumer sentiment and revised U of M inflation expectations. The consumer sentiment is a moderately important report, so we should expect some volatility from that. Other than that, IMF meetings are going on all day, but nothing likely is going to be said there. It's very important, but you never know. So that's it, 10 o'clock, and that's pretty much it. Taking a look at the markets yesterday, um, and also looking at this morning, we have the QQQ ETF, which presently is going to open slightly lower than where it closed yesterday. It's been up, it's been down. It was at first gapping higher above the previous session's close, and it went lower. Most of this gap higher was due to some earnings that came out for Google, and I think I forgot what other company, but Google was one of them that had a nice positive result. Anyway, looks like we're just going to open around where we were yesterday. But yesterday's action was very, very bullish. So pretty much this was a throw a dart at the board, and pretty much any stock you picked probably went up. But we as always were very selective. So what we ended up doing were two opportunities. One worked, one didn't. So the first one was Meta. During the session, Meta was going up. We expected it to go farther, but it didn't. So we took a break even on that. And then for Coinbase, we did get the follow through that we needed, so we were able to make a profit on that. So Coinbase worked out, Meta didn't. But as you can see, Meta is currently trading sharply higher in the overnight session. And let's see here. Also, we'll look at Google a little later. But Meta did not have did not have an earnings report, but I believe the market is moving that sympathetically with Google. So here's Google, so we can see it. Okay, earnings came out for Google. Obviously better than expected. Estimate was earnings of 2.02 per share. Actual was 281, but also their forward guidance must have been good. All right, so let's just take a quick look at what's moving here in the pre-market. I just want to rocket through this, and then we'll move on. So 1 second here. Let me relocate this chat so I can see you guys chatting. All right, so let's run through that really quickly here. All right, so first up is Tesla. Let's take a look at that. All right, Tesla is presently up 0.37%. It's not much. Um, about just a little bit lower than I think where it closed or a little bit higher than where it closed yesterday. So not that big of a change. So we'll skip that one. Nvidia, let's go through that. Up 0.2%, so not much. Unchanged essentially. Palantir, PLTR, unchanged as well. Robinhood, slightly up, 1.4%, but not enough for us. RZLV, that's up 4.57%, so not up enough for us. BBAI, actually that's a New York stock. ACRV. ACRV is up 5% roughly, 11.9 million shares, so not enough for us. We need at least a 6% price change. Let's see what else we got. Pony, Pony, like the shoes. Oops, Pony. Pony is up 24.5%, 6.3 million shares, over $1 per share, so that certainly qualifies. So we can add Pony, Pony, to our pre-market list. Okay, so that's the first one I've added so far. All right, next up is, let's check INTC. Ooh, INTC is down sharply. Okay. So earnings came out. Obviously, they didn't like what they heard. 7.4% down, about 8 million shares traded. Of course, it's way above $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add INTC to the list. Intel. Next up is FFAI, and that's currently up about 8%, 1.6 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share, so we can go ahead and add that, FFAI. Next up is KITT, KIT. That is presently up 21.4% on 7.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that, KITT, to our list. Next up is AREB, and that is presently up 9% on 5.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we can go ahead and add that to our radar, AREB. And then lastly, we have BCTX, which is presently down 22.5%, 1.3 million shares traded, and it's at least $1 per share as well. So we'll add BCTX to our list. All right, so if you folks see any other stocks meeting all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. The criteria are: it must be a NASDAQ listed stock trading at least $1 per share in the current pre-market session, must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume at this point, and also at this point, at least a 6% price change, which can be positive or negative. So of the list that we gave you so far, here they are. And I see OMEX is mentioned. So if you see any other stocks, let me know. So OMEX, let's take a look at that. That's currently up 71% plus, 68 million shares, over $1 per share. That certainly qualifies. So we will add that to our radar. Good find there. OMEX. CEP, sorry, I almost missed that one. CEP is up about 20%, 2.1 million shares, way over $1 per share, so we'll add CEP. OLB, I saw that already. That's currently up 17.3%, 9.5 million shares, at least $1 per share as well. So OLB is now added. And then CGC. CGC is currently up 10%, 1.4 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our radar. Symbol is CGC. All right. So we'll go ahead and wrap up for today's Pre-Market Pulse, folks. Please be sure to like the video. I see that we have 2 likes, but way more than 2 people watching. So please be sure to hit the like button. That greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. It also makes me feel great. And also go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when we produce a new video. And if anyone is watching this video on a replay, if you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. You will see a link in the description to this video. Other than that, for everyone as part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in about 13 minutes, more like 14 minutes, and then we'll pick up for today's session. All right, folks, have a great trading day. We'll see you for Monday's Pre-Market Pulse. I'll be back in Miami at that time, so see you then. Take care.